Studies exploring fasting-mimicking diets for IBD have produced promising results. If you have inflammatory bowel disease, ulcerative colitis, or Crohn's, you may be curious about the benefits of fasting for your condition. There's a lot of buzz around the many benefits of fasting for different health conditions. It's been shown to be beneficial for blood sugar levels, obesity, rheumatoid arthritis, asthma, and other conditions where inflammation is at play. But fasting and fasting-mimicking diets appear to have mixed results in IBD. A fasting-mimicking diet shows promise, whereas certain types of fasting, like alternate day fasting and time-restricted fasting, may make symptoms worse. So today, I'm going over what research is coming out with regarding all this and what fasting-mimicking actually is. You guys are listening to the Digest This podcast, and I'm your host, Bethany Cameron. Let's get right into the episode. Did you guys know that vitamin C is more than just a boost to the immune system? It plays a critical role in many of the body's functions and is a powerful antioxidant. It also aids in tissue regeneration, the absorption of iron, and production of collagen. It also has been shown to fight oxidative stress and cancer, support oral and brain health, manage stress, increase nutrient availability, improve energy levels, combat weight gain, and reduce the risk of a stroke, among so many other things. In fact, humans are the only mammals that don't make their own vitamin C. So this means we must get it from our diets and/or supplements. However, most vitamin C supplements are nothing more than ascorbic acid, which is one fraction of the vitamin C compound. And most ascorbic acid is derived from GMO corn and highly processed in a lab. But the vitamin C capsule I personally have been taking for over a year are from Paleo Valley. Paleo Valley's Essential C complex contains the most concentrated sources of natural, organic vitamin C on the planet, made from whole food sources like unripe acerola cherry, camu camu, and amla berry. Their acerola cherries are organically grown in the rainforest of Brazil and picked before they ripen, which is when the vitamin C content begins to degrade. As a result, one unripe acerola cherry is 120 times more powerful than an orange. Each serving of Paleo Valley's Essential C complex contains 750% of the RDI of vitamin C in whole food form. That's amazing, you guys. You truly are getting a full spectrum of vitamin C, not the isolated synthetic form found in many other products. It is made with not one, but 3 whole organic superfoods that are not only incredibly rich in vitamin C, but also loaded with other nutrients and antioxidants. And since Paleo Valley knows vitamin C is a fragile nutrient, they use a gentle, low-temperature method to dry each superfood. It's also third-party tested, made with all organic superfoods, nothing synthetic, no fillers or flow agents. Their capsules are gluten, grain, soy, and dairy-free. And each bottle of their Essential C complex is a 30-day supply. And if you aren't satisfied, they have a 60-day, 100% money-back guarantee. So if you aren't thrilled with your order, just let them know and they'll refund you without any questions asked. You really have nothing to lose and all the health to gain. Just go to paleovalley.com/digest for a special discount. Plus, if you order 3 bottles, you'll also get free shipping and handling. So again, go to paleovalley.com/digest to receive a special discount and free shipping and handling when you order 3 bottles. All right, guys, by now we all are aware that gut health is crucial and affects every area of our lives. I mean, at least I hope we all know this, right? Many people think that if you have poor gut health, it can cause digestive issues like constipation, gas, bloating, and even loose bowels. But gut health goes way beyond just our gut. Poor gut health has even been linked to poor immunity, depression, anxiety, brain fog, low energy, skin issues, including acne, and studies are now coming out that our gut microbiome is linked to obesity and type 2 diabetes. And in the world we live in today, so many factors and environmental toxins can hinder our gut and are constantly trying to break down our microbiome. Now, it's not practical. We go off grid and live away from society to avoid all these things. So it's important to combat them with a good probiotic and prebiotic to give our gut support and skin in the game to fight off infections and help us live our best life full of vitality, energy, clear skin, and regularity. But not all probiotics are created equal. In fact, many don't even make it to the grocery store alive. So you just wasted your hard-earned money on something that's basically dead. That's why I personally trust and take Seeds DS-01 Daily Symbiotic Capsule. This is a prebiotic and probiotic in one. If you've ever seen me in my Instagram stories showing you what Seeds capsule actually looks like, it's pretty cool. That's because it's a capsule within a capsule. So if you open up the first capsule, there's actually another capsule inside. Seeds Daily Symbiotic is a probiotic and prebiotic to support gut health that's completely revolutionized the daily supplement world. Designed to make its way all the way through your stomach and survive your stomach acid, with studies even showing its 100% survivability rate. And I'm pretty sure we all know what probiotics are. They're the good bacteria we need inside our gut. But without prebiotics, the probiotics will die. You see, probiotics are also living organisms and they need food too. That's where prebiotics come in. They help feed the probiotics, helping them to survive in our body, which is what we want, right? Sources of prebiotics include garlic, onions, leeks, asparagus, artichokes, oats, grains, and legumes. But for many people with digestive issues, all these foods are off limits because they can cause other issues. And if you follow a grain-free or paleo diet, then oats, legumes, beans, and other prebiotic-containing grains are off limits too. So to make sure you are getting the full benefit of taking probiotics as well as getting what you paid for, Seeds Daily Symbiotic is what I would recommend to all my friends and family. And if you're not sure if you want to take the plunge, Seed is offering my community a whopping 30% off your first order so you can try it and see if you like it for yourself. They will send you a super chic glass bottle filled with the goods. Then they have an eco-friendly, sustainable biomaterial refill system delivered each month after that. But you can cancel anytime. So even after the first month, you can cancel if you feel like it's just not for you. But let me tell you, if you are taking a probiotic anyways, why not switch to Seed and experience the array of benefits that countless of others, including myself, have experienced? And if you're not already taking a probiotic or prebiotic, take this as your sign to take back your health now. Just go to seed.com/digest and use code 25digest to get 25% off your first order. Again, that's seed.com/digest and use code 25digest to get 25% off. And make sure it's all lowercase. So getting back into the topic of fasting mimicking. In a 2019 study, this was from the University of Southern California, they found that a low-calorie eating plan reduced inflammation in the intestine and reversed the pathology of IBD. Now, researchers said that the results could be significant in the treatment of IBD. And Walter Longo, PhD, noted that the fast mimicking diet was effective against a multiple different issues, including MS. Now, this was on a mouse model for the MS. The mouse did have multiple sclerosis, so it did provide some initial evidence for MS in particular. He also mentioned that fasting mimicking could be effective against many autoimmune diseases, particularly those involving the gut. Longo said this is very important because it addresses potential strategies to truly reverse and not just keep under control, but literally reverse widespread illnesses such as Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis. All right, so what is a fasting mimicking diet? I'm sure you're wondering. So, on a fasting mimicking diet, you eat a very low calorie diet for usually just about a few days, but your eating isn't time restricted as in typical types of fasting like intermittent fasting. Experts recommend eating nutrient-dense foods during a fasting mimicking diet so that you can get the essentials even though you're restricting your calorie intake. One popular prepackaged version of this diet is offered by a company called Prolon. No affiliation, by the way. It was founded by Dr. Longo, who was the author of the fasting mimicking study mentioned previously. The diet is designed to last just about 5 days, and the meals deliver about 34 to 54% of the calories you'd normally consume in a day. The company website recommends going on this 5-day eating plan either once a month or twice a year, depending on your health needs. I also think it's really important to note that the study in fasting mimicking I previously mentioned, it was done by the same people who are promoting the Prolon diet. Therefore, it's always wise to be skeptical of the study results and Longo's interpretation of them. Just like with anything, obviously, you always want to be cautious and aware of any affiliation a doctor or study may have, and it's important to look at the funding as well. Nonetheless, the results showed promise and the markers for inflammation did go down significantly, as well as repaired gut lining. It's also possible that the foods eaten during a fasting mimicking diet may be more beneficial than actual fasting. If you have IBD and you're interested in the fasting mimicking diet, you don't necessarily need to follow the Prolon diet. If you're interested, you can just ask your doctor for a personalization recommendation. All right, so in case you're still not clear on fasting mimicking diets versus just fasting, a fasting mimicking diet is very different from just a fasting diet in which you don't eat during certain periods of the day or week. For example, if you practice the popular intermittent fasting method, you only eat within an 8-hour interval of the day. It could be of your choice, obviously, just within 8 hours. So for example, like between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. Unlike with fasting mimicking diets, some people practice intermittent fasting long term. So the fasting mimicking diet is not meant to be long term or a lifestyle, but rather as, quote, a reset, just maybe a couple times a year. Now, to better understand how a fasting mimicking diet aids with those with IBD, let's touch on how IBD attacks. IBD is basically an umbrella term to describe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis, which are two conditions characterized by chronic inflammation in the gastrointestinal tract. Common symptoms include abdominal pain, rectal bleeding, weight loss, fatigue, and persistent diarrhea. And in 2015, about 3 million American adults reported having Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis. And that's just those that reported it. Who knows how many are silently suffering on top of that? If you've ever wondered about the non-toxic air fryers, shampoos and conditioners, organic undies, and new food products on the market, and even some not available to the public yet, and well, you want to get the inside scoop, then you need to join the 20,000 plus people that are already receiving these updates via my Friday Finds newsletter. I share information that only my subscribers get in their inbox. Stuff like non-toxic kitchen appliances, new food finds, product recalls, food news, and even personal care products we all should or should not be using. My Friday Finds newsletter goes out once a week every Friday and has quickly become some of my followers' favorite things to open in their inbox. I've even started to include a recipe in this once a week newsletter. This is not published anywhere else and cannot be found on my blog. So if you're not part of the over 20,000 people that are in the know, be sure you're not left out by going to littlesipper.com/subscribe and enter your email. That's it. It's free. There's no spam, just helpful, insightful content full of goods, literally. So pause this episode and go to LILSIPPER.com/subscribe. That's LILSIPPER.com/subscribe. The precise cause of IBD remains unknown. However, it's believed the condition happens when the immune system attacks the gut. In the body of the average person, the immune system attacks foreign invaders, such as viruses, to protect the body. But with IBD, the immune system identifies even the good gut bacteria as invaders and causes the GI tract to become inflamed, and finding the right treatment can be super difficult. So the question is, should you fast if you have Crohn's or UC? The effects of fasting in IBD are still exploratory, and research on the topic is mixed, suggesting there may be several interacting factors. So the answer isn't straightforward. It's true that studies over the years have shown fasting can be very beneficial for many conditions, and I even myself have seen significant improvement day to day as I intermittently fast. I haven't personally tried the mimicking fasting diet, so I can't give you my personal experience with that. However, I do feel I have mimic fasted unintentionally several times looking back when I was sick with a cold or flu. And where like when you're sick, you just drink more broth and unintentionally just eat less as you rest to fight off the bug. After any sickness, cold or flu, I always distinctly recall my gut feeling better. I don't know about you, but if you can recall your gut and digestion feeling the same way after you've been sick, you may just kind of want to take note of that. Try and look back and really analyze your experience and how your digestion felt after a cold or flu. Just something interesting to think about. Now, even in non-IBD populations, intermittent fasting improves gut microbiota composition and reduces inflammation in the gut and throughout the body. Plus, studies have found fasting has positive effects for people with other inflammatory conditions, including rheumatoid arthritis. In one 2020 study, they found that time-restricted fasting and intermittent energy restriction stopped UC disease progression, reduced inflammation and oxidative stress, and increased gut microbiota diversity and beneficial microbial compounds in the gut. Now, findings and studies are ever evolving, and further studies are still needed to untangle the complex factors that affect inflammation and disease activity in IBD. Just note that fasting mimicking is different from fasting in that you don't abstain from food completely. Fasting practices such as intermittent fasting have piqued researchers' interest as a potential treatment in people with IBD because of the ultimate fact and ability to reduce inflammation in the general population and in people with other inflammatory conditions. If you are interested in trying fasting mimicking or fasting for IBD, ask your doctor for a recommendation. Solutions for people with IBD is super individualized, and what may work for me may not work for you or the next person. That's why this condition can be super frustrating because there's not a one size fits all, and often each individual needs to go through a trial and error process to find what works for them. Unfortunately, right? Like I've had to go through trial and error and see what works for me, and there's pain in the process because obviously with trial, there's error and you go through the pain. And obviously, you know that if something's not working for you, you're going to be in pain and you're like, all right, I'm not going to go back and do that again. So it's just an unfortunate thing that you do have to go through some pain to really find out what works for you. So all of this said, I hope this bite of knowledge was helpful and insightful and gave you some information to explore some therapeutic options to help reduce inflammation. To me, intermittent fasting or even mimicking fasting is one of the safest options and treatments because you're not actually adding anything to your diet, but simply abstaining. There's no risk that you will get an allergic reaction or get into a flare because you ate something your body couldn't handle. It's also super cheap and cost effective because you're not buying anything. So to me, it's certainly worth a try. But again, as always, ask your doctor before implementing a new diet routine into your life. Thanks again for listening to the Digest This podcast, and I'll see you guys this Wednesday. Thanks for listening to this episode of Digest This. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a review in your podcast app to let us know. If you're ever wondering how you can support me and this podcast, sharing it with your friends and family is the best way. This is a Resonant Media production produced by Drake Peterson and edited by Mike Fry. To email the show, message us at digestthispod@gmail.com. See you next time. The content of this show is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not a substitute for individual medical and mental health advice and does not constitute a provider-patient relationship. As always, talk to your doctor or health team first.